All right, good morning, everyone, and happy Thursday. I'm Jenny McCullum, the Chief Procurement Officer for JEA and the Chair of the Awards Committee. I'd like to call the August 26, 2021 Awards meeting to order. We do have a quorum with Joe Arfano, Stephen Datz, and Hai Vu on site, and we have Jordan Pope sitting in for Laura Dutton via WebEx, and we have Todd Skinner sitting in for Ricky Erickson via WebEx. OGC is represented by Lasikia Hodges, and Budget is represented by Lori Whitmer. Before we get started, I'll ask if there's any public comment that has come in via email or any public that is attending in CC1.
No comment.
Great. I'll ask if there are any public comments through the attendees on the phone. All right, seeing none, we will start with our agenda items, 1 through 4. They've all been reviewed by Procurement and by Budget and are ready for the Awards Committee review. We will review each one of these award items individually. Then I will ask if there are comments and questions from the Awards Committee. If seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to approve with a second, and then we'll roll call through the committee to get approval for each individual item as we go through. So we will start with our meeting minutes from August 19th. Are there any questions or comments? All right, seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to approve the meeting minutes from August 19th.
Joe Arfano, so moved.
Stephen Datz, second.
Thank you. We'll roll call through the committee to approve the August 19th, 2021 meeting minutes, starting with Joe Arfano.
Approved.
Stephen Datz.
Approved.
Hai Vu.
Approved.
Jordan Pope.
Approved.
And Todd Skinner.
Approved.
Thank you. Award number 2 is a contract amendment. This is for our Greenland Reclaim Water Main Rail License Agreement. And this is with FEC Row LLC. And this is for an increase in our Reclaim Water Main carrier pipe encasing size in the amount of $84,306.25. We brought this to the Awards Committee. Well, I'll actually start a little bit further back. So in September of 2010, the board approved and authorized the Real Estate Services Group to acquire property, in order to construct an overhead power line and reclaim water line in an FEC railroad corridor. And that was in the amount of $2.5 million. And FY19, the Awards Committee approved an amendment to the existing agreement in the amount of a little less than $72,000 for additional occupancy in order to construct the power line, future reclaim water line, and remove vegetation in the corridor. So this request is to amend the rail lease agreement to increase the diameter of the proposed pipeline. Right now it's 24 diameter, and through the course of design with our water and sewer system planning group, it was determined that size should be increased to 30-inch pipeline with 3 road crossings increasing to 36-inch pipeline. I'll note that part of this agreement is for JEA to utilize the right-of-way for equipment and material temporary storage, which includes the spoil material. So I'm going to stop there and ask if you guys have any questions or comments on award number 2. All right, seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to approve award number 2.
Hai Vu, so moved.
Thank you, Hai.
Stephen
Can I get a
Datz,
second? Thank you. We'll roll call through the committee to approve award number 2, starting with Hai Vu.
Approved.
Stephen Datz.
Approved.
Joe Arfano.
Approved.
Jordan Pope,
Approved.
and Todd Skinner. Thank you. Award number 3 was an IFB. This is for a rebuild approximately 1.4 miles of 138 kV single circuit transmission line to be rebuilt to the 230 kV standard. And it's inside an existing JEA transmission line easement. This will include the setting of 13 new spun concrete transmission poles and reframing of one existing spun concrete transmission pole along with proposed wires and anchors, insulators, and hardware. The work will also include a temporary reframing of 10 existing wood H-frame transmission poles. SPE Utility Contractors is the recommended awardee in the amount of $697,424.98. This is a project completion, which we are expecting January 30th of 2022. We received 7 bids, and the award amount is approximately 35% less than the budget estimate. I will just ask the business to, or Rodney might want to chime in on the reduction, in the decrease of what we thought we were going to spend from a estimated standpoint to what we are going to be paying, and has that been vetted? Give the awards committee a little assurance there.
So SPE, they are lower than what we expected. The $1 million budget estimate was more around where we thought the bids would come in at. But SPE does have a long-term contract, so they're here in town. They have a pretty significant presence here with us doing our transmission distribution work. So their people and their equipment are already mobilized to Jacksonville. So that's a benefit to them, and they just bid really tight. So that's why the lower bid amount in the budget estimate.
Thanks, Rodney. Does the committee have any questions or comments?
Yeah, Jenny, this is Stephen. Beside the estimate, when we're looking at the other 6 respondents, that seems like quite a vast difference. When you look at the top end to where SPE is and everything in the middle. So it just appears that there would be some kind of inherent risk associated with this particular response because it's just so much lower.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rodney.
This is Rodney again. So the folks at the top end, we just believe that they're kind of out in left field a little bit on their bidding. CNC Power Line, Volt Power, Henkels and McCoy, these guys are our typical suppliers, and they're also the ones that bid against SPE for the overhead contract that SPE ended up winning. So SPE in general has been tighter on rates when it came to bidding large work, and in this instance, they came in pretty aggressive to win this additional work.
Rodney,
so
this is Jordan. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was kind of where Stephen was, but I think I heard you saying, I just want to confirm, SPE is doing work for JEA now, correct? So we're familiar with their work. Okay.
That's right. If it had
they've
been
got one of our big contracts. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Go ahead. Which one do they have, Rodney? Is it the overhead one? Or
the
underground?
overhead, distribution, maintenance, transmission work. So that contract, I believe, is around $25 million
Wow. Okay.
over a 5-year term. So it's decent amount of work, and they're working for us every day.
Yeah.
Rodney,
And
it's
this
Joe.
will come. Go ahead.
Have we had any performance issues with SPE in the past?
Not that I'm aware of. if the business unit's online, they can speak to any concerns they might have had with them. But we have had other contractors that we've had issues with, but not as far as I'm aware with SPE at this point.
We also have a bond for this work. This is a IFB construction. We requested bonds, so we have that as well from a risk perspective.
Is that typically 10%, Jenny? I forget.
100%.
100% of the work is what we request for a
100%?
bond.
Is under bond?
Wow.
Wow, that's great.
So for
That addresses my concern.
Wow, I wasn't aware of that. Holy cow.
You might be thinking of a
So-
performance bond versus,
Yeah.
like, which one do we ask Rodney for the, it's usually 5% maybe? What do we ask for in this
yeah,
one?
so
5 or 10?
right. So for a construction contracts, the bid bond is a demonstration that the company has the wherewithal to get from a surety, a portion of their bid bonded. Right, that's what we ask for the bid bond, which is only 5%. The payment performance bond is
There you go.
the request for the surety to show that they can support the full contract price, and we have somebody to go to if they have a performance issue.
So is Sebastian or Daryl online to give us the assurance that they've dealt with SPE and they don't have any concerns with the bid cost?
Yeah, this is Sebastian Camise. Can you guys hear me okay?
We can hear you
Yes.
great.
Yeah, so SP is our unit price contractor. They've been our unit price contractor for, I want to say, 2 years or so. We've never had any issues with them. Their foreman has been with Henkels & McCoy before, who was our unit price contractor before that. So he's very familiar with our system. We've been very happy with him so far. We have had no issues actually whatsoever.
Okay, thanks.
That's great.
Yeah.
I do have a question, I guess that comment in the background recommendation that struck me as strange. When it says, that the bid is 35% below and excess funds once project is complete will be returned to capital budget. Firstly, I would expect that, but I think the normal process is you trend the project and adjust the overall budget accordingly, trend it down, and then return the money now. And then if you need more money in the future, you request additional funds. Is different than what, at least I'm interpreting this, is you're going to keep the 1 million or so budget, and then you return the excess when the project is complete. It's normally it's the other way around.
This is Sebastian again. We did do a trend, and it was just processed about 2 days ago. So we did trend back 368,000 or so.
Thank you, Sebastian.
We'll update that paragraph to read a little bit better there. Hi, to communicate what's actually been done.
Yeah, or just eliminated that sentence entirely.
Yeah, we can do that. Let's just take out that sentence. Any other questions or comments?
Jenny, this is Jordan. I'd move to approve this item.
Thanks, Jordan. Can we get a second?
Joe Orfano, second.
I heard Joe. Todd, you can do the next one. We'll roll call through the committee to approve award number 3, starting with Jordan Pope,
Approve.
Joe Orfano,
Approved.
Stephen Datz,
Approved.
Haivu,
Approved.
and Todd Skinner.
Approved.
Joe's just a little bit louder than you, Todd. Sorry about that. All right, our last award. This is a short agenda this week. Award number 4 is a contract termination, and this is for capital asset management software, which we will refer to as CAMS, unifier purchase, implementation, and training. So originally this was a purchase for the CAMS implementation training to enable the efficient delivery of capital assets and support the Enterprise Asset Management Initiative for JEA. Oracle was our recommended awardee, and it was approved by the Awards Committee in September of 2019. I'm going to just kind of go through what this request is, and then Keturah, I think, is on the line and has done such a great job presenting this a few times. I'm going to have her kind of walk us through what's happened and why we're terminating. But this request is to terminate the project without cause. And I'm going to turn it over to Keturah to kind of walk us through. So if you guys have questions after that, we can answer them.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks, Jenny. Just provide a bit of background. There was a solicitation back in the spring of 2019 that was sponsored by the Capital Budget Planning Group together with the Electric and Water Project Management Construction Group. And Oracle won that bid. The project kicked off in November of 2019. The scope was to implement Oracle Primavera Cloud's products, Unifier, and Portfolio. The Portfolio component was the primary piece for capital budget planning. The Unifier product was the portion that was going to provide both project management functionality to the electric and water groups. The team spent quite a bit of time since November of 2019 working on initially to create a proof of concept. They determined for early January of 2020 that there was just too much effort associated with the end-to-end processes for the costing component that needed to be worked out. And so they elected to abandon the proof of concept in order to focus on the big picture. Between May and June 2020, they identified, after reviewing the requirements with Oracle and determining how best to satisfy those requirements, either with leveraging the functionality of the product out of the box. This particular suite of products has both the benefit as well as the curse of being the most configurable product I've ever worked with in all of my years of doing this. I say that because with the Unifier Portfolio products, what you get is basically a shell. And that shell can be customized, for lack of a better word, and configured any way that you want it. As most of you know, our processes are somewhat unorthodox and can be challenging when we try and tie them to technology. Working with Oracle to identify the best functional design to satisfy the business's requirements took a significant amount of effort. The team worked on the Unifier functional design up until April of this year, at which point they felt comfortable that the design Oracle presented, after a lot of analysis and validation on the business processes and objects, that they finally had a functional design that they were comfortable testing in order to be able to say go. The Portfolio functional design started later because it wasn't as massive as the functional design for Unifier. And so at the end of the day, the effort between April and July of this year focused on validation and testing of the functional design that Oracle ultimately came up with. That functional design was approved roughly July 7th for both Unifier and Portfolio. At that time, we set to baseline both the cost and schedule, and the team decided that based on the effort that had already been expended, there was just not the bandwidth to continue this effort, because in order to move the approved functional design into production, we were looking at an additional 6 to 9 months, which would have taken us into 2022, as well as an additional $2 million in cost. So the recommendation from the business was to cancel the project and not move forward. We did, at the steering committee's request, look at reducing the scope to focus on just the water wastewater business, and that effort as well was deemed not approved to move forward once we presented the cost and schedule associated with the modified scope. So the recommendation of the business to cancel the effort was approved, and that's why we're here this morning.
Thanks, Victoria. Does the committee have any questions or comments?
Jenny, this is Jordan, and this question may not be specific to the cancellation, but I'd be curious to hear from Keturah or Lori. I think this has been a desire of JEA's for quite a while to get a different system. So are we going to continue to pursue that, but maybe with a product that's not as challenging, I'll say? And where do we go from here?
So at the end of the August 12th steering committee meeting, the direction was that the water group would go back and regroup. I know High is looking for a solution for his area. One of the recommendations that was made at the steering committee meeting on the 12th was that the electric business unit, the project management group, and the water project management group, that there might be some opportunities for them to identify efficiencies that could be leveraged in both areas. If that were the case, then it might be that we are able to leverage some tools that we already have. Otherwise, we'll be looking for water to come back to us with a request to look at another project. I will, again, the Oracle Primavera Cloud products, the thing that really challenged us a lot was the fact that it could be made to do whatever you want. And in doing that, not necessarily looking at opportunities for efficiencies by leveraging the technology, as best as we could natively and modifying our processes, that would have helped us. I mean, that's a challenge for most ERP projects. I've seen it before where we're just not as willing to explore leveraging the technology and letting the technology drive our efficiencies as, versus just saying that our technology has to adapt to our processes.
And Jordan, this is High. Speaking for the water wastewater group, we will continue to search for a product out there that would help us with the project management of our CapEx program for the future. So we're not going to give up. We'll continue to search.
Jordan, it's Joe. I can give you a corollary, another example. We went down this path with Oracle on their debt and investments module. It was a similar thing. They demoed it. We thought it worked. What we ended up purchasing was a black box. And it just was an overwhelming piece of server installed product that had to be heavily customized to do simple things. We ended up canceling that project as well. And on the investment side, stayed with our existing software as a service product that they're now, that FIS is no longer going to service to provide, but there are software SaaS products out there that could do exactly what we needed to do for both debt and investments that are far less cumbersome and far easier to implement. So we're going through that with investments. We intend to do the same thing with debt. And then water, wastewater is looking for alternatives that can address this as well. It just became, for finance in particular, it was just an overwhelming, I mean, they have their day jobs and they were spending nights and weekends. It was not a sustainable effort for Lori's group. It just wasn't.
Makes sense. Hi, so you're saying you guys are going to still look at programs, but are you speaking more to like the cost and scheduling of what you do and not necessarily the interaction with capital budget? And asked a different way, we're not going to have a process for water, wastewater with capital budget and then okay. I just,
No, the process remains the same. We're just looking for a tool to help with documentation.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Great conversation. Any other comments from the committee? All right, I'll ask for a motion to approve award number 4.
So moved.
Thanks, Todd. Can I get a second?
Well, this one hurts me, but second by high vote.
I'm staying quiet.
All right, I heard a second from High. I did not hear your commentary, but I'm going to move on because I don't think it applies. But we got a second from High, and we'll roll call through the committee to approve award number 4, starting with Todd Skinner.
Approved.
High Vu,
Approved.
Stephen Datz,
Approved.
Joe Arfano,
Approved.
and Jordan Pope.
Approved.
Thank you, everyone. So we've reviewed the award items for the August 26, 2021 meeting. They've all been approved. I'll ask if there's any other business to come before the awards committee. All right, seeing none, we're adjourned. Everybody have a safe weekend. We'll see you next week.
Take care.
Thank you.